Hello everyone, I'm Faral Imran and today I'll be telling you what are modules in Python and how you can rename them or even make your own modules in Python and import them also. So that all I'll be telling you about this in this video. So watch it till the end. So first of all, what are modules? Now, Python module is a file which contains the Python statements and definitions, means it contains the Python code. So the .py extension is for a module. Now, but if you see in a module, it's not just Python code. You can see there are functions in it, there are variables, there's classes. So you can have those in a module. And if you don't know what are variables, so I can add the video at the top so you can go watch it. Or if you don't know about functions, so I can add the video at the end so you can watch it if you have no idea about it. And classes I'll be telling about in the later series of the video when I'll be having my the name of object oriented programming. So in that I'll be telling you about classes. So here you can see the modules, they contain runnable code, means the code you can run, it means you can import it and then you can run that module or file. Okay, modules are of two types. There's the built-in module, which is, for example, if you install Python or if you install pycharm. Now the thing that comes with the Python package means there's already in Python, you don't need to create it. So that is the built-in modules, and the user-defined module is that means user is defining. So here you can see that users are making the modules. So as I'll be showing you how you can make your own module and use it in the file if you want, if you want to use it. So let's get started. Now here I made a project already, module. Now in this .env, now this is a virtual environment. If I click on right click and then new Python file, then I'll name it, for example, I want to make a module, I'll make it as calculator. That has the calculator function. So if I add this calculator, now calculator.py file has been created, because as I already said that I was creating a Python file. So Python file has the .py extension. Now if I write, for example, I'm making a function as def starts for a function, then I'll add the function name. After that I'll add parentheses. We call it round brackets, but in programming we call it parentheses. So these are round parentheses. Then I'll add, for example, a comma b. I'm adding these two values. After that I'll add a colon, because this is for now. When I click on enter, so here you see it's already indented, means there's space in it. For example, if I don't add space to it, then it won't recognize, Python won't recognize that this is inside this function. So it will give you an error. Now if I say, for example, print, and then I'll add the parentheses, that a plus b. Okay, now here I added this. Now I'll make another function which is called sub for subtract. Then I'll add parentheses, a comma b. Then after that I'll add the colon, then print a minus b. Now I'm doing this. Okay, now after that I'll add, for example, because we're making calculator, a simple calculator which has the add, subtract, multiplication and division. Now if I go for multiplication, I'll add mul, then a comma b. It's not compulsory that you have to just add a comma b in all. It depends on you. If you want to add x or y or some other, you can do that also. So if I say print, but remember that, for example, at the top, whatever parameters you're giving, down also in print or return you should add the same. so that it can recognize that it will be taking these values. So if I say print A star B, now when I click on enter, after that I'll make for a division. Okay, then I'll add A comma B, then a colon. After that I'll say print, then the round brackets A slash B. Now this sign is for the division. The star sign is for the multiplication, minus is for the subtraction, and plus is for the addition. Now for example, I've made this calculator. Now what I can do, I can just, I'll just save it. For example, I'll go to file, save. Okay, now it's saved. I'll make another file, new Python file, and I'll name it as, for example, math or maths. I'll just add this. Okay, inside that I'll import, okay, I'll import calculator. If my calculator, now I'll import this. So if I say, for example, and you can even import all, or you can just import, like, you can just say, like, you can import some of it. Now I'll write, first of all I wrote import calculator, and then after that, for example, I'll say that we'll add the function name. Then first of all we'll write the import name of the import, like calculator dot add, and then I'll add the numbers. For example, if I say 7 comma 12, now when I click on run, you see here 19 has been printed. Why it has been printed? Because see, I first of all what I did, I imported this file. Now when this file is imported, then I called the function add, and in that I wrote two numbers, which is 7 and 12, and it was same as A and B. And then here I said print A plus B. So means I just called, and inside it there was a print function, so it would be printed in the console. But if I wrote return, then you have to write here that print calculator dot add this, because this happens, because the return, it would return nothing. But if you say the print the return thing, whatever the result is, then it would be printed. But here I already wrote as print, so I don't need to write it. I'll just write calculator dot add or calculator dot mul. For example, if I say calculator dot mul for the multiplication, and then I'll add, like, for example, 6 comma 9. Then when I'll run it, see here there are two values, so 6 9s are 54 and 7 plus 12 is 19. Now this is for how you can make your own module and then you can reuse it. We can also rename it. For example, if I say import calculator as cal, now this module, for example, has been renamed. So instead of writing this whole calculator, you don't need to write anything. You'll just say cal and then cal.mul. Okay, now if I'll just change the values so that you can see the difference. For example, 9 comma 12 and then 4 comma 9. Now when I click on run, you see here 12 plus 9 is 21 and 9 4s are 36. So here you can see you can rename the module and then you can use it, or you can even import specific thing. For example, from calculator you want to just import add, or for example I'll just go sub, import sub. Okay, now here this has been, so what I'll do, I'll just say sub seven comma 2, And then when I click on run, you see here 5 has been. Now what here has changed now from calculator, now from this file calculator.py, I've imported just sub. Now you just need to call the function. You don't need to write cal.sub, calculator.sub. You don't need to write. So here when you can import like the specific ones, or you can import all. For importing all, you just add the star, add star for importing all. I'm going to click on run, or for example if I call the dev one, dev 8 comma 3. So when I click on run, see here this value has been printed. So this is how you can make your own file and then import it in another file. Now if you want to import it from the built-in modules, for example I'm not importing calculator, I'll just import math. Math is a built-in module. Okay, now there's like some functions in it. For example, there's a square root function. For example, if I say print math dot square root, it's sqrt, and then I'll add the two values. Sorry, not two values, just one value. I'll just add square root of 76. When I click on run, you see here this value has been printed, means you're getting the square root of it. And how I said, for renaming you can do as MA. You don't need to write math, you'll just say MA dot Masters of Arts 89. Okay, so here you can see how you can rename it, and you can even import like sum. So you, for sum, you like some functions, so I'll just say from math import factorial. Okay, now when I click on print, I'll just say factorial, then I'll write a 45. Okay, now this is the value of factorial 45. Okay, now there are more of the modules also. There's not just maths, you can add like more. There's math, there is rand. I'll import the random one, means import random. It's also one of the built-in modules. So import random, and then I'll just print yep, I'll just print a random integer. So print random, because that is the name of the file, random dot rand int. Now this is the name of the function, the thing of it. So rand int of what, I'll just say you can add the values, like two values, like between these values you want a random integer. For example, if I say from 45 to 99999, for example, these values I'm adding. Now when I click on run, so this value has been printed. It means I'll give a random integer, and because it's a random, every time you add this function or like more times, then every time it will give you a different number. Now if I print this again, see here, different number, then different number, different number. So how much times you'll run, because it's random. It's like, for example, there's some logic behind it, and then it will just give you some random number. And even you can go import datetime. Now datetime is also it's also a function, it's a module. So datetime means to get the date and the time. Okay, now I'm importing datetime, and then for example if I say that for example, what to say, if I import time or date time. Okay, for example, from date time, we can import the date. Now, if I write date, if I like from date time, I'm importing the date. From date time, I'm importing date. Import date. It's not the other date, it's the numbers date. Okay, now print date dot from timestamp. It's like a function. Yeah, timestamp. And then what you have to, like, if I add some seconds, if I add some seconds, just random, then I'm gonna click on run. See here, now these seconds it converted into a date. It's 7 Jan 1970. I add like some more. Okay, now this is out of range. Okay, I'm gonna click on run. Yep, 22/11/1987. Wow. So they're like converting the number of seconds to a date object. So that is all from my side. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions regarding it, you can comment me down below and I'll be happy to answer. Thank you so much.